Hi, I'm Keegan, and this is A Bunch of Gamers. This is our fourth episode of Vampire the Dark Ages, 20th Anniversary Edition. I'm going to go around and have my players introduce themselves.
Hi, this is Christine, and I play Isabella, a Cappadocian.
Hi, I'm Michael, and I play Tamichi, named Augustin.
I'm Mike, and I play an Assamite named Yehuda ibn Haqim.
I'm Thomas, and I play a gangrel named Ham Varsson.
The group in Pistoia had gathered some additional information regarding the scroll that they had found. Meanwhile, Isabella was investigating the home of Andrusio with some ghouls and a gangrel who was working as a sheriff. She was then attacked by the demon that was seeking the scroll when they first got it. They have returned to their haven and now begin investigating the demon itself as well as a possible lead, as there was some sort of woman, well-dressed but unkept or unbathed, who had collected the translation from Father Orisini. The night has come, and you all awaken. Can I get a blood point spent from each of you?
Done.
So who would like to do what? Remember that the red light district, where this woman likely came from through your investigations, is firmly set in the territory of Ancius the Golden, which could be a problem given that Isabella was recently in the territory of Panfilio the Cruel when investigating Andrusio.
I think perhaps this might be another night where we divide and conquer, so to speak, and I stay out of his territory, given I might have more attention than you all might.
That is a good idea. I would like to... we also need to try to track down this unkempt woman and see where the translation may have gotten to, in addition to finding where it came from.
I have a feeling that the two women we're looking for are one and the same, but you're right, we do need to investigate all leads.
I didn't think of that. I can't imagine somebody working in the red light district being very successful if they don't keep themselves clean. Then again, it's not something I'm very...
So there was that, and there's also demonology, if anyone is interested in looking into that. You'd have to go to one of the bigger churches. There is a bigger church still in Panfilio's territory, closer to yours, so it's not really claimed by anyone.
Ooh.
I think I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe Isabella and I can do the research while Augustin and Ham investigate the tawdry areas of the city.
That works.
I can do that.
Okay.
So you said this was Ancius the Golden's territory?
Yes.
Does he generally still want permission to do anything in his...
Yes. Typically, he does want people to announce their presence coming into his territory, given the fierce rivalry.
Alright. I guess me and him will go to announce our presence.
You go to the fine villa that is controlled by Ancius. The servants bow and greet you and allow you to enter. As you see Ancius chatting away with his chamberlain, Manelli, a Bruja of some renown. Ansius continues to talk as he turns and looks at you. Welcome. It is good to see you. Please, have a seat.
Thank you. I will take a seat.
Thank you.
Augustin. Pleasure. I see you are still running around with some of the lower clans, as he gives kind of a wry smile. But they have their uses, do they not?
They do. So, we have some matters we are investigating and would like your permission to make some activities in the Red Lake District inside your domain.
Oh. Well, that is certainly a prime place for feeding. Is that why you've come?
That is not our goals for tonight.
I see. May I then inquire what you are looking for?
We've, ran into quite a few complications and are trying to gain a better understanding of potential dangers either to just the coterie I'm a part of, or potentially broader dangers. We're uncertain right now.
I see. I will give you permission on the condition that you return to me with any sort of information, especially information relating to my domain.
This is perfectly reasonable.
I would also ask then that you use your beast friend there to possibly gain a little information on Panfilio's current outings.
We can see what we can gather.
Good. Then I see no reason as to why I will not let you investigate. The best of luck to you, and I do hope that you both find what you are looking for.
Thank you, and have a good night.
A good evening to you both.
Alright, we will leave.
Alright, you leave and you start heading towards the red light district. Meanwhile, heading towards the church, Isabella, Yehuda, you start approaching the Santa Croix.
Have we been to this church before?
It seems unlikely.
You said this was still in Pamphilio's territory?
Yeah, close to yours. It's kind of in the Florence equivalent of the DMZ.
Alright. Are there going to be humans there this late?
There are still priests who are in there, yes.
So, do we announce ourselves or simply sneak?
That is up to you.
I guess the real question is, do we have any idea where the materials we want to look at might be in the church?
Not really.
I'd like to scope out the outside of the church first before we consider going in, just to see how busy it is.
Okay.
Is there a lot of people still doing late night mass, I'm assuming, I guess is the thing, or prayers or something, Bible study class?
My concern is whether they let me in at all.
You could just lie about your religious...
I think the bigger concern would be me getting in because I look like a dead body that's moving. We'll cross that bridge if and when we get to it. So I think let's scope out the outside first and see what we can gather.
Okay.
And we can decide.
Going around the church, you start moving along. You see a couple priests on occasion for the few glances through the stained glass that you can see through. Moving along. The church is relatively quiet, though, and it seems that only the priests and nuns are inside at the moment.
Library in particular?
You saw into the main chapel. The library does not have any windows, but there is a large library of religious texts within.
I would say that I'm assuming if I don't have some sort of scarf that I can wear or a veil of some sort, I would probably want to grab something like that.
Okay. Yeah, we will say that you have a veil of some kind obscuring your appearance.
No. Not enough
And
to draw attention to it, just enough to make me look less dead. So.
Alright, and for the purposes of going into the church, maybe I'm not wearing a turban and robe.
Makes sense.
Well,
No.
robes, 12th, 11th, or 13th century, I think people still generally wore robes all around. Hose weren't really a thing yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll leave my head on.
Okay, so I say let's go in and see if we can go in without being, having to be sneaky. And if that doesn't
Brass
work,
it out.
if we have to, we can sneak in later.
Alright.
Okay.
So we'll go in and see what we can figure out.
All right, so you going through the front door then? Or knocking?
Yeah.
Okay. The great knockers clang against the great wooden door, and a younger man opens. He's a bit short, his eyes glaring at you briefly as he steps out. He looks you both over and goes, "Good evening. How can I help you?"
I'll address him in Latin. Greetings, brother. My associate and I need to make use of your library.
The library at this hour?
Yes, I'm afraid we cannot be delayed.
What sort of emergency would require you to use the church library at night and require no delay?
The sort of emergency that can't be discussed very widely either.
Then I will not discuss it, as he steps back into the church and closes the door.
Well, that didn't go as planned. So, do we want to knock again and tell him? We tell him straight up we think it's a demon. Church is big on demons at this point. Or we can just sneak in. Although I'm not very sneaky.
We could go with the demon play.
Okay, so I'll knock on the door again and see if the same gentleman will open the door.
He opens the door and looks out. What is it? God is patient, but I am not.
Please, sir, we are seeking the knowledge of the church because we believe there's a demon.
As his eyes kind of widen, a demon.
Yes, a demon afoot in the city tonight.
Come in. He closes the door as he turns around, his arms crossed. He looks incredibly bulbous, given his crossed arm, and his face almost squishes together as his suspicions and concerns mix together so he looks like a wrinkled old dog. You have a few moments to explain very quickly. This is a grave thing to be throwing out, especially now.
Especially now. Indeed, young man, as you know, the Inquisitors are not keen on everybody, even in the clergy, being involved with such. So while we greatly appreciate your help, you have to understand that for the sake of your own learning soul, it is not wise to delve too deeply into such things, or even to speak too widely. We're stretching the bounds of our authority by even informing you of such.
He turns and looks over Isabella, his eyes carefully examining her as he goes, "She is an inquisitor? A woman?"
No, we're simply working with them. As you know, God uses whatever tools are at hand to fulfill his purposes.
Manipulation subterfuge, please.
Isabella, do you have manipulation and subterfuge?
I have manipulation. I don't have subterfuge.
Okay.
But what I will tell him, let me jump in here and say, no, please, sir, I am not able, given the great sin, to be an inquisitor, but I believe I saw the demon, and that is why I am here.
What difficulty level?
We're going to go with 7.
Alright. 1 success.
Okay. As he takes a deep, exasperated sigh. Very well. But I ask that you do not stay here too long. If what you say is true, and that word should not get out, the other brothers will be suspicious if you stay here for too long. If you must...
Thank you, brother. Trust me, we need to make haste anyways. What is your name?
My name is Salmo.
God's blessings be upon you, Selma. You are doing great works tonight. We will make haste.
Very well. Meanwhile, back in the red light district, Augustin, Ham, you start approaching the red light district.
Before we get there, I'm going to change my appearance so I'm not recognized by mortals for who I am.
Okay.
So, I don't believe there's any particular... I'm not going for any particular details, so I don't believe it requires a roll. Just letting you know.
Alright, that works. As you get to the red light district, you see several women hanging about, smiling, as well as a few men marching about, some swaying with perhaps too much wine this early in the evening, while others seem to look on with sober faces and protective gazes over the women, partially due to the rumors or the superstitions that to harm a woman will draw upon the wrath of God in this area, but also to protect their merchandise, so to speak.
So, I know we got the name of who the merchant had been talking to. From the letters.
Maralda?
There we go, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to find Maralda in a non-obvious manner, I guess. Figure out if she's been seen, when was the last time she was seen.
Okay. I will have you roll Charisma, Investigation, difficulty 7, just for the non-obvious nature of it.
Should I help with that?
You can help with that. That can give Augustin 1 bonus die. Okay.
1 success.
It takes about an hour of asking around, but you do find out where she is staying. She's staying at a rather nice inn. It seems that she had a surplus of coin recently. Some seem to refer to her as the stuck-up prostitute or the stuck-up whore. But you do get the name.
And that is?
You get the name of the place she's staying. It is nearby, and you are able to approach it.
All right.
Gonna be direct or sneak in?
That's what I'm trying to decide. How good are you at sneaking into a place, Ham?
Okay.
Well, if you think you can get in quietly, try to do that first. I will wait outside for now.
How would you like to sneak in, Ham?
I don't know.
As a note, you're going to need to find out what room she's in first, too.
That is true. So maybe sneaking in isn't the best plan.
Alright, well... I will go in, and I will just ask for if they know what room... I'll ask for, her room.
Okay. The proprietor of the inn goes, she is over there, as he points out the door. She's down the hall. You will find it as the third door on the right.
Thank you, sir. And I will head down there.
You start heading down there. As you approach the door opens, and you see the lovely young woman in a lavished cloak that resembles the one that was described to you step out, as she leaps up almost in shock as you notice a satchel of some kind filled with things, as she goes, "Oh!
Greetings.
Who?
I would like to have some discussions with you about various matters I believe you've been involved in recently."
Very, very well. Were you sent by the German?
No, I was not sent by the German. I am here on the interest of Androsio and what exactly led to his death.
I see. Oh.
And what has happened exactly to the merchandise after so far.
I see. Certainly. If you don't mind, I will come in. Have a seat, I suppose.
I will head in.
Wine?
No, thank you.
Well, what do you want to know? I never really met Andrusio. I always worked through an intermediary. I've never met the German either.
Well, I was wondering, we know about some of the intermediaries. Did you happen to have met with a priest recently?
Yes, I did.
And what is it that you received?
This, she brings out the translation and puts it down.
And just same translation that priest had,
Yes.
Okay. And you're supposed to be passing this on to some German?
Yes, I'm supposed to be handing it to Galetto the snake, who works for the German.
Alright, and I'm assuming your compensation for this was already taken care of since you're still following through, even though Androsio is no longer alive.
Yes, I was being paid through my patron. I wasn't connected to Androsio. I was summoned by Galetto, and he spoke about his patron and that he called his patron the German, and that he was going to help me reclaim the life I had lost.
Okay. And how is that going so far?
It's alright. He had sent the first payment, was going to set me up with some fineries, though he mentioned through the snake that I still need to collect all 3 fragments, and I'm not sure what that means.
So this was only the first of 3?
Yes.
Well, would you be interested if I assume you are not exclusively working for Galetto? Would you mind also passing at least the translations of any more fragments that come your way to me?
What can you offer for them?
I'll make it reasonable, like a decent amount of wealth for someone a decent amount of resources for someone in her position, but not enough to really matter to me or
Okay.
Like, it should be still sizable, but it won't have long-term impacts for us.
Got it. That is quite a bit. That I suppose I could, as long as the snake doesn't work against it, so to speak.
If you cannot fulfill your end of the deal, I ask that you merely inform us, and there will be no ill will or consequences to you.
Very well. How will I reach out to you?
I will give her a contact she can get a hold of to receive money and drop information off to.
Okay. Very well. That seems more than reasonable to me.
How much do you know about these fragments that you are collecting, and have you been involved in delivering anything else to this German?
What I understand is it's some sort of religious text, but it has something to do also with the scroll itself. That the German seems very interested in that. I was rather surprised when Father Orisini said that he was going to be keeping the original, and that was part of the bargain, given how interested the German was in the bargain, or in the original, at least from how the serpent was talking.
Alright. I thank you for your time, and I shall be taking my leave now.
Of course. Thank you.
Yes. So, I will leave.
You leave? You see Ham waiting outside?
How did it go?
Better than expected. Though we may be inviting problems. We have some other people we need to research. We need to find out who this German is and who Giletto?
Galetto is how I pronounced it. I'm probably butchering it.
Have no idea. But let's head back.
Okay.
Meanwhile, back at the church, Brother Salomo takes you into the libraries. You see several scrolls about as he looks you over once again. That kind of haughty sneer on his face going, "Will you need any assistance? These scrolls are very old, and I do not want to see any damage to come to them."
I value ancient texts more than any man. Do not worry, I'm very experienced with working with them.
Very well. I will take you at your word in this case, but do not mind me, for I want to stay in the room just to observe. You understand, of course.
By all means. I would expect nothing less from a learned scholar.
As he walks over and he sits at one of the tables, he puts his elbows down rather roughly, crosses his fingers, and just stares at you. His piggy eyes kind of glancing over you, and you kind of feel the disdain radiating off of him. All right. So, Yehuda, you start doing a bit of research.
We're looking for a Crossroads demon that makes deals, right?
Yep.
So, past descriptions, I guess, information. Would it be a theology role?
In this case, you'd be doing intelligence academics.
Okay.
Difficulty 6.
I'm also doing research, so I'm going to make that roll as well.
Okay, what kind of research are you doing? Same research?
I would like to do more generalized demonology research and see if I can find anything related to the demon we found, or perhaps Vermis.
Okay, could I get an intelligence occult then from you? Difficulty 8.
Of course.
Yehuda, you start looking around. You don't find a whole lot. Some basic structures of demonology, specifically the belief of the 7 princes of hell, each tied to a specific sin. You have Lucifer, who is tied to pride, Beelzebub, tied to envy, Satan, tied to wrath, Abaddon, to sloth, Mammon, associated with green, Belphegor, gluttony, and Asmodeus, to lust. Isabella, you start looking around and researching, and you do find a specific story. You have heard of a demon that delivers wishes to those who summon them, which comes at the price of the soul. There's a story of the man of the Crossroads in local lore that comes up in several of the scrolls you find. It says that he is a bard amongst his brethren, and it seems that the oldest text in Latin seems to suggest that he has frequented this city in various garb and tales since as early as 438.
And that 438, that's just is there a specific tale that he's linked to from that time frame, or is that just the earliest reference noted?
The specific tale seems to be related to a young woman who had lost a child, and that she took the doll that was meant for her child and buried it at the crossroads to summon him. He arrived and agreed to return her child to life, but the child was never the same, and the story gets rather horrific as when she attempted to feed the baby, it gnawed upon her flesh and ate her heart, and that it had to be put down by her husband as she writhed and died. From the abomination she rose from the grave.
Lovely.
That role represented about 3 hours of research. You can make another one if you so choose.
Can we compare notes and like this
Yeah.
wish-granting demon? Is it associated with any of the princes of hell?
That will require a separate roll, but you can look, which will reduce the or which will give you some bonus dice. So you can add 2 bonus dice to your roll this time, Yehuda.
All right.
I'd also like to keep searching.
Okay.
Do you roll intelligence, academics, or intelligence?
Oh, what are you looking for specifically?
I want to see if there's any other references to this Crossroads demon, kind of doing the same thing that Yehuda is, looking to see if there's any relationship between what I found and what he found.
Okay.
So hopefully can find some information on how to deal with or exercise this demon.
Looking around, you actually find some general information first. In the first few hours, you find of a specific class of demon known as deal makers. There are some who believe that deal makers fall under all the demon princes, with the exception of Lucifer, who in his pride takes a share from all others, as is his right as the true lord of hell. Others think that deal makers fall solely under greed, though arguments have been made throughout the centuries as to why that does not work, since some deal makers also dish out vengeance in various tales. Deal makers deliver wishes to those who summon them. Those wishes come at the price of the soul. Some of the more obscure texts tell of these deal makers changing affiliations with princes based on what the deal is. You learn that deal makers are considered sort of mid-tier demons because of how often they deal with humanity. Deal makers seem to be tied to those who summon them. And if those who summon the deal makers die, then the deal maker takes the soul and returns with its prize.
And you said this demon wants 3 souls?
Yes.
And what could the human's motivation? Pure greed? Lust?
I think perhaps I'll learn more once Ham gets back. So, at this point, we've spent like 5 or 6 hours.
6 hours, yep.
6 hours, okay. So, just also looking up kind of general information about that, would it be worth it for me to make that roll?
For...
To see if I can find any additional information about the intersection between the information I found in Demon Crossroads and what Yehuda found.
So your first roll, you found some just more basic tales, but yes, it seems like the only thing that you know of regarding the man at the crossroads is that there's a couple legends that change his appearance, and that his appearance seems to change based on the nature of the wish. But most have him looking almost bardish, which seems to say that he is a herald of sin.
Seems like some good information to share with the group as soon as we get back.
Okay.
Yeah, at least we have a name now.
That's a good start point.
Alright, I'll tell Selmo, thank you very much, brother. It looks as if somebody has made some sort of pact. We may be back when we learn more.
Of course. Shall I reach out to Rome then?
Rome has already been informed.
Of course.
If I were you, I would keep this close to the vest for now.
Very well. As he gets up, opens the doors, and leads you out, He seems incredibly tired as you see the bags under his eyes.
Get some rest, brother, and pray for Florence.
As he closes the door. You all return to your haven and are able to now share notes.
Well, it looks like this deal-making demon may be working for any of the 7 princes. That depends on the merchant's motivation. But if he's requiring 3 souls, that suggests multiple deals were made.
Well, multiple deals were failed. He failed to fulfill multiple deals.
Yes.
Because if they die, he gets the soul anyways.
Well, the resurrection of the baby, eating the heart and drinking the blood, does sound like the kindred. There may be something there as well.
But we need to figure out whoever this German is. I believe in the records we saw 3 items of interest to him. 1 a month ago and 2 last year.
I believe that is correct, yes.
Okay. And then, does anyone know about Gelato the Snake?
Okay, so what did you guys want to do? And it's getting close to the end of the evening, of course, but...
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't mind feeding, and then probably whatever we decide to do, we'll have to wait till tomorrow evening. But now we know that there are at least two other fragments running around, right?
Well, that's what's interesting. There's 2 more fragments that were expected to be delivered, but we have records of, well, already 3 items being delivered to the German. So what exactly was delivered before and what was still to be delivered? And there's the concern of whoever was asking for this wanted the original, and we're currently the one with that.
That's right. Okay, so we need to figure out what's going on with this original. Why it's not the blood, but there's something going on here that's more than just what's written on.
That's what I would take from that.
Okay. Well, and that's something we don't need to go anywhere.
Okay, so you'd like to look at the original then, or?
Yes. 1 sec.
Guess, yeah, we'll take some time to reinvestigate the original.
Okay.
Can I use Auspex for that?
What part of it?
The Spirit's Touch. A vampire can read or otherwise experience the traces attached to a given object when she puts her hand on said object.
Okay. You can try.
Alright. Spend a blood point, and would be Auspex, and would it just be that roll? Or?
It should be for Spirit's Touch, right?
Yeah.
Perception, empathy.
Alright.
The difficulty would be 9, given the age of this.
Oh, still a chance. So close.
Is that something we could use our mulligan chip for, perhaps?
You can. Just remember, if you use a mulligan chip, that you will not gain the extra experience for it.
Yeah. Trying to think if that's worth it. Odds are... Well, it's not going to get any easier, so yeah, what the hell.
Okay.
I will use that.
All right.
Oh! Ha!
That was a good choice.
The writer of this scroll was male, had black hair, brown eyes, and you get a vision, a quick sense, as you see that on part of the scroll, they draw a line with 3 other intersecting lines on the back.
Okay. Is that still visible on the scroll?
It's very hard to see, but if you can do a perception alertness, difficulty...
Right. And 'cause
go ahead.
I'm specifically trying to figure out what it is about the scroll that they need the original.
Got it.
And I'm assuming it has to do with these lines. the shape. So it looks like a triple cross, then?
Not quite, no. They look...
Like the sulfur symbol?
No, it doesn't look like a symbol. It looks like a map of sorts because part of the line comes off the scroll and the other ones branch off onto it or connect to it. It looks like it's a map of some sorts, and that other scrolls are required to complete the map.
All right. Perception, alertness, difficulty, what?
We're going to go with 7.
Remember to knock the difficulty down by 2 or 3 steps, whatever your auspex is.
Oh.
Heightened senses. All right. You do find them. They're worn, given that they were, when the scroll was rolled, that ink faced the outside world. But they're still there, if worn. They are clear as day to you, though, without the aggravated damage, obviously.
Excellent. And it is a map?
That is your best guess. They look like roads, and they look like they're pointing somewhere, and that, looking at it, you do notice that there is with the brush strokes, it looks like it's trying to point the observer in a certain direction.
Fascinating. Well, I definitely want to make a copy of the map/shape.
Okay. You are able to do that.
Direction. Does it...
The direction is the main through line that is heading off the page.
And would the edge line up with more text on the other side? Like
yes.
A continuation of the story?
It crosses through specifically the line that says, on the other side, this road, or the road.
Excellent. That's just the one line. The other 3 don't leave the edge, or do they?
They do not leave the edge. They seem to be points of reference of some kind.
If I hold it up to the light, can I see any words like shining through?
You cannot.
Too much?
You cannot. But evening is ending. You feel the call of the grave, or the call of your coffins.
We have a map, or part of one. We just need to track down this German and find out if he already took delivery of the other fragments.
Well, we have conflicting evidence right now.
But for now, evening ends and you must rest. But day ends soon enough, and you rise, and it is time to spend another point of vitae as you awaken.
Before we do anything, I would like to feed.
Okay.
I also need to feed.
All right. Come up real quick with a way of how you want to feed, how you want to hunt. You do have a herd, so that will make things easier.
That's what I was going to say. I would just go to the herd and...
Well, that just adds dice to the roll.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. It doesn't automatically give you people to feed from. It's a group of people that you are feeding from. Backgrounds.
Now, does it make a difference that we're all doing this at the same time?
No. Let's see. You have a group from where you can feed. Yeah, your herd rating adds dice to your roll for hunting.
I'm assuming that I probably have 1 or 2 people that I tend to feed from more often than not.
Okay.
So, I would visit, whichever young man or woman suits my fancy. And I'm assuming with herd, since you can feed on them without fear, they know.
That's not necessarily true. What it might be is that they're simply used to you, or they're in places that you're familiar with, meaning that it's less risky. But we can say they know, in this case.
Well, that's either way, it's fine. I figured I'm assuming it's probably somebody that I know, perhaps another midwife that I've worked with in, doing the underground medical services who
Okay.
I'm able to, corner and take some blood from without it, causing any alarm.
Okay, so let's have you roll. So we'll do that. So you're going to find one of your fellow midwives. We will say that to talk with them, you will need to do manipulation medicine to try and talk the medical jargon with them to get close enough to get a little bit of blood.
What's the difficulty?
Since they're in a more upper class area, it would be difficulty 7. But don't forget to add a number of dice equal to your herd.
Okay, and our herd is level 1, right? I think I did okay.
You did do okay. So you do find her and you feed. How much would you like to feed?
How many blood points can I take without her, with her still being able to, function that night?
2. If you take more, then she will have to make stamina rolls to remain conscious.
I'll take just 2 points then.
Okay. Augustin, how do you plan on hunting?
We have a fairly large, estate. I'm going to feed on servants that work inside the estate.
All right. Let's do a charisma leadership or charisma expressions. Whichever is higher.
You managed to pick 2 that are the same. Target number?
It is difficulty 6 in this case. You do all right.
And I will just take 2 points.
Just 2 points. All right. Yehuda, how would you like to hunt?
I would like to... What if I put on a turban and also say, a face covering, just so I can't be recognized as me, went to a tavern or church or some area where crusaders are known to hang out, and lured one into an alley with an intent to, murder me, and instead turn the tables.
Okay. So
I could pretend to be a merchant or someone who's lost, or, hey, I have something to sell you. Check this out.
Yeah, roll manipulation subterfuge.
Okay.
Plus any herd. Or actually, this guy wouldn't necessarily be part of your herd, I think. So, but your difficulty goes down. Because you're in the slums, it'll be difficulty 4, but no herd dice on this one.
And it's just manipulation and subterfuge, no physical action?
Correct.
All right. Damn.
Nice. So you were able to find one. How much would you like to feed by?
I'm killing him. Or at least, what's my max blood pool?
I believe... What's your generation?
I put 2 points into generate.
So I think you would be 10 then.
2 points? Yeah, you're 10. So you could have a total of 13 blood... You can have a blood pool of 13 total.
Okay. And how much blood is in a human?
10.
Oh, shit. Yep, I will do that.
Okay. Well, with that, what was your road?
Derech Chaim. It's the road of heaven.
Okay.
Jewish version. The all it is can't go after restricted or forbidden prey.
Mm-hmm. Hang on, looking at the Judy, because murder is still usually, murder's a sin too. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. So you will need to roll conscience, difficulty 8, I believe, for a degradation roll.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is okay. Difficulty 8.
Yep. Decrease 1 from your road.
All right.
All right.
And then,
how would you like to deal with the body?
I'll leave it in an alley, in whatever alley I was in. Slit the throat to hide the bite marks and take.
You can. Okay, I was gonna say you can lick the bite marks too to make them close up and disappear.
All right, yeah, and then I guess still got to leave some sort of injury.
You can still slit his
Maybe
throat.
hit him in the head a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much did
Slit
you?
his
How much
throat.
did you feed? How many blood points did you take?
10, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, were you at blood? Did you only have 3 points left?
Correct.
All right. You slit his throat, and nothing comes out because you took all of his blood.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So maybe bash his head in too.
Okay. You bash his head in.
I don't know. Anyways, robbing him as well.
Okay.
Taking his purse. Maybe somebody won't notice he's missing the blood.
Okay.
Or I could throw him in a river.
Whichever.
Is there a river nearby?
There is a river nearby. There is one river that goes through Florence.
Okay. There are a bunch of people around.
No, it's pretty late, so most people are off the streets now.
Okay. Yep. So just to be sure, I'll throw him in.
Okay. You throw him in. The body goes down and washes away. And Ham, are you going to feed?
I might as well.
All right.
I guess I'll find kind of wander through the dark alleys and looking for a random person who's just alone in a dark alley, and I'll feed from that unlucky individual.
Okay, can I get a strength brawl? Diff 4 since you're in the slums. You succeed. And how much blood would you like to take from this guy?
Just gonna take 2.
All right. You come up behind the guy as he's pissing on the side of an inn, as you slam him into the wall and take a bite. You drain 2 points and let him fall, disoriented as you move through the night. All right, so you guys reconvene. After feeding, what would you all like to do now?
Well, we've got 2 leads to look into, right? Hold on, let me go back to my notes. So we need to look into the snake guy, Gelato Man, and the German, I think, first. Unless you guys have other thoughts.
He came from Pisa, no?
Which one?
The guy who got waxed at the very beginning. The merchant who was bringing the scroll.
No. Or the one bringing the scroll, yes, but the merchant bringing the scroll didn't get killed.
It was the merchant buying it. And Drozio from Florence is the one who got killed by...
Yeah, Jacobello is the trader from Pisa.
We could try to track him down.
Okay, wait, let's make a list then. We've got Jacobello, the trader from Pisa.
It's Galato.
And we also have the German.
Did we get a name for him?
I don't believe so. We don't even know where he's at, or like what city he would be in, I believe. Perhaps Jacobello would be a good place to start to get some information about the German, because it seems like they were doing business with Androzio as an intermediary, right?
Yeah, no one knows no one that you've spoken to seems to know the German's name, just that he goes by the German.
So perhaps we need to take a trip to Pisa.
We might be able to track down the other 2 scrolls, or at least find out where they may have gone.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay, so what is the consensus?
I'm gonna stay here and try and figure out if Galetto the snake is someone who is in Florence.
Okay.
I'll stay with him in Florence to do that if we want to split up.
Well, we don't have to go to Pisa right away, and we certainly this time don't want to stumble in blind. We should find out who the prince is there and their feelings about the conflict in Florence.
That's not a bad idea. We could investigate Pisa through our local community while also looking for information on Snake Man. And then the next night we can go to Pisa, assuming we find some useful information.
Okay. And we will find out what kind of information you can get next time. Thank you to everyone who listened. We will catch you in the next episode. Bye.